The government wanting to restrict recipients of food stamps to buy pop because it's unhealthy is structural racism. Structural racism. Well, Nautica, how is it racist if a majority of recipients of food stamps are white? Unforeseen consequences. Because the idea that restricting a certain population for a specific control is rooted in racism. It just so happens that the majority is a part of the majority of people using food stamps, so it's an unintended consequence. But the root is racism, classism, discrimination, racism at the root. When has America implemented a policy of restriction that has actually been successful? Never. Alcohol prohibition, the war on drugs, abortions, sex ed. I could go on. I'm going to stop there. All of those things were restrictions for a certain group or population, and it actually failed miserably, failed in implementation. The thing that was being restricted was actually sought after even more. And then it also created more of a risk, because if you know anything about human behavior, people are going to do what they want to do. And they're going to also do it even more when you tell them no. So it actually created underground systems for these people to access the very same thing that you're restricting in an unsafe manner. But do go on to tell me how somebody of a low socioeconomic status doesn't deserve to buy a pop or soda because it's unhealthy. What about chicken nuggets? What about all the other processed shit in a grocery store? The grocery store is low-key 90% processed foods. Why are we putting one processed thing over another? So when they're able to get a job and start being functional in society, then they can start indulging in the unhealthy things? Is that the goal? I'm confused. How are you going to tell a family of 5 that for the month, they just need to drink water, which everybody should be doing, by the way, and you want them to be more healthier? Okay, so let's say fruits, veggies, lean meats. I'm just assuming that's the healthy standard. Okay, so how are they going to stretch that for a family of 5 for 30 days? Are you going to increase the amount of money they're getting so they can afford organic? Are you going to put a grocery store in the very communities of these low socioeconomical places so that these same people who you said they can't buy pop can have access to a grocery store? Because we all know gentrification has been super blowing up lately. Are you going to show them how and educate them how certain foods can be cooked, made, for them to be able to provide for the family for the month? I'm confused. Are we going to pay more in taxes so that these families can afford organic? Because I have 2 jobs. I can't afford organic anything. What the heck? We have a government running wild and loose. Where are the restrictions? But no, we want to restrict food stamp people from buying pop. Happy Social Work Month.